Good morning and welcome to Backyard and Beyond. And good morning to you, Barbara.
How are you this morning?
I'm great. Hope you're the same. I know you've already been busy teaching a class this morning.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Had a final today.
Oh, well, that was maybe okay for you, but I'm not sure about the students.
Yeah.
I'm sure they get a little nervous whenever it comes that time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, yes. And so what was your class? What's the title of your class?
I was teaching this morning pesticide application.
Oh.
All our students, I'm getting them prepared to take the state commercial applicator test.
Good. Yep, very necessary if they're going to be working out there and applying any kind of pesticide. They need to get that done. So that's
Absolutely.
a good reminder, for other folks too, that if you haven't gotten that done, a good thing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Barbara, you're going to be in Atlantic on March 19th. That's just about 2 weeks away. I can't believe it.
Oh, I know. Spring is just around the corner, right?
We're all hoping that. And of course, on March 19th, let's hope it's that spring-like kind of March day and not the other kind we sometimes get.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not those little surprises.
Yes, exactly. Well, you're going to be talking about veggies and herbs in the landscape, and of course that can be in big plots or little plots, but I think more and more people are interested in kind of doing that combination of vegetables with flowers. There's some great opportunities to have a beautiful landscape, including vegetables and herbs.
Yes, exactly. And with the current economy, landscaping is really becoming more usable and practical, if you will, by having a combination of things that are edible as well as things for beauty.
Do you have some favorite things that you think look really great in the landscape that are either vegetables or herbs?
Well, actually, I find herbs very fun. I have planted salsa gardens, which you have your tomatoes, green peppers, cilantro, and then you have some blooming plants in there as well. You can also have a tea time where you can have go pick up some old teapots and plant some of your herbs for tea in those pots in your garden, which is kind of fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and then also, just like in England, cottage gardens have always been very popular, and those are a combination of your blooming plants as well as your herbs. Another thing with vining vegetables is they look beautiful if you train them to grow up those obelisks, those triangular projections out of your garden. So that makes it fun. And
I don't know why I hadn't really thought of this till last year. Sometimes those climbing plants can become a ground cover.
Yes, they can. Absolutely.
So you can use them as several different ways. You don't necessarily have to have that thing for them to climb on. But like you say, if you do, there's great opportunities for a pretty background or maybe a kind of a centerpiece of your garden.
Absolutely. Yeah, focal points are always key.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be working with this session. I'll have 2 sessions in the afternoon, so opportunities for the folks to come in and hear more about it.
Yes. And saying that, Barbara, I want to mention that in case people are not familiar with the Atlantic Spring Garden Seminar, that there is no keynote speaker, which means that you have 4 different sessions to choose from, and there are so many topics. Even having 4 sessions, it's a little difficult sometimes.
Oh. I know. I was looking at the list of speakers, and there are some excellent speakers coming in. I'm very excited about it.
Wide variety of topics.
Yes.
And the nice thing, as you mentioned, for instance, you're doing yours twice. So if you don't get in on one session, maybe you can get in on the other session.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But if you want to be sure, now is the time to get registered.
Yes.
And people can pick up their registration blanks in a lot of different places in Atlantic and in Cass County. But worldwide on the web, really easy. I just put my search engine, my Google thing, IWWC and Atlantic, and then it comes up and it's right there. And when you click on that, man, there's a registration blank right there.
Yay! That can't get any easier than that.
No, absolutely not. So, and we should mention it's $35 per person, and that includes breakfast and lunch and exhibits and door prizes and on and on.
Yes, it should be a very fun day.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about you, Barbara. When did you become interested in gardening and planting and growing?
Well, actually, my love of gardening started when I used to spend weekends with my grandma. her hobby was puttering in the garden, and she would reserve a spot in her garden beds for me, starting when I was like 3 years old.
Oh, how exciting.
And it was fun. I could choose whatever plants I wanted to grow every year. And one thing I tell people, over the years I learned a lot about life by tending gardens with her. We talked for hours while we pulled weeds.
You bet, yeah. You don't have to talk to the weed necessarily. You can talk to each other. And hey,
that's right.
Good point, Barbara.
Yeah.
And I think that's just something that parents and grandparents can think about. You don't need a great big plot to put this in necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. And children just get the biggest thrill, even if it's a little area, and if you let them decide what they want to grow, they take such pride, and they're just out there fussing with it all the time. It's cute.
And then when they come to harvest,
yes,
it's most kids, if they planted it, they're going to eat it, whether they ever did before or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's
fun.
Yes, a great way to have kids learn to eat maybe things that you're going, I won't eat that. But when they grow it,
then that's theirs, right? And they're very proud of it.
Yeah.
And they make sure everybody else has it too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, and let's talk a little bit about, if you don't have a big garden space, maybe you just have a pot or a basket, or what are some of our choices to put these herbs?
Absolutely. I'm going to discuss that in my session, where you can set containers within your garden beds, or like you said, even on patios. If you may live in an apartment or a duplex or something, you can grow just about anything in a container, because you can put a trellis in if it's a vining type plant. You can put herbs as a kind of a skirt base around the base of big plants, and kind of get 2 or 3 for the price of one inside your pot. Makes it look pretty as well as functional.
There you go. And for some folks maybe who've gardened in the past a great deal and just are not able to do that anymore,
right.
Well, there it is, probably raised up if it's in a pot.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
easier.
So it's not hard to get down. You don't have to get down on your hands and knees to pull weeds and such.
Yeah, usually, and if you plant it right, you don't have any weeds in those pots, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Every once in a great while, but they sneak in,
Yeah, but 1 or 2, we can handle that. So there's just great opportunities for, no matter where you are, to be growing something in some size pot. Are there some guidelines you give in terms of the kind of container? Are there some containers we shouldn't use that won't do well with plants?
Well, one really important key with container gardening is that it needs to have drainage. So if you're using a container, like I mentioned before, with like a tea time theme garden, you can use old tea kettles. If you can't drill a hole in the bottom for the water to escape, then you're going to want to inset a different pot inside that tea kettle, because it's very important to have good water drainage. Otherwise, your roots kind of get mushy and die.
So then if you have to do that, you put some rocks or something in the bottom of that.
So that's right. Or put another pot in the bottom, or stand it up somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll bring some examples with me of different things that we can use.
Good. Well, that's one of the great things about this garden seminar is the speakers always have come with personal experience. You've got lots of book knowledge, but the personal experience to me is always the plus.
Absolutely.
You can say, don't do this because I learned.
Well, and another advantage of container gardening is the bunnies. It's a little bit harder for them to get up in a container to eat.
Yes, good point, because those first green sprouts that come up, guess who likes to have those?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a little discouraging when you go out and see those sprouts, and the next day they are gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So a good point about that also. So what about, are you going to talk at all about where to get plants and seeds, and which ones you can start from seed and which ones you really need a plant to start with?
Yeah, I will talk about that a little bit and give out. I'm going to have some lists of good plant combinations, if you will, if you're going to combine veggies in your flower beds. What are good combination plants? They make good partners. as well as with herbs and vegetables.
Good.
What ones make good partners.
And Barbara, do you believe, have you seen any research that says when you plant some things together, it really protects them from pests?
Absolutely. You know, we found out quite by accident in our greenhouse here at the college that aphids love cilantro. So as a cultural control, we purposely put pots of cilantro around the greenhouse. And then once that cilantro plant would get full of aphids, then we'd pitch it. But that was a good way to keep the aphid population down.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of gather them in one spot so you can control them.
Absolutely.
Good point, good point. Well, we're looking forward to having you come to Atlantic to the garden seminar on March 19th, Barbara.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody.
Okay, great. And guys that are people out there, get yourself registered because time is passing by really quickly. If you need more information, go to that iwwc.edu or just put it in your search and it'll come up and you can do that very well. So thanks again, Barbara, for visiting with us this morning.
You're welcome. Yes. I look forward to meeting with you.
Okay.
All right.
Barbara Stuckey, who's professor at Iowa Western Community College. Here's a thought. Wouldn't it be nice if the door to opportunity was provided with a key?